G2 starting off on the defense again here.
Another defensive start for G2. Parabellum, I think, happy enough to go on the attack as well, but I don't think Cafe is going to be as defender-sided as what we've seen from Villa. Cafe, much more of an open map. I can't really pick who it favors. It's a very difficult map to judge.
It is. There is opportunity for aggression. There is opportunity for runouts and, you know, players that can really stand out. We talked about how destructible Villa is. Cafe shares some of that quality. There's a lot of that top floor that you can destroy. So I expect to see plenty of C4 usage again. Maybe, just maybe, are we going to see anything targeted here on the defender side? The attacker bans have come through very standard there. A Thatcher and a Maverick. That's par for the course. We see the Wamai there coming out from Parabellum. That's a consistent ban from those guys. Now the big question here is, what do G2 remove? Do they remove the Cade? Or do they look to try and remove some of that information? Do they look to remove the Valkyrie? There poor old Valkyrie goes.
All right, so the bans, same kind of defender bans as well that we're dealing with, which has been quite frequent. It's a lot of Wamai, a lot of Valkyrie as well. In terms of the attacking bans, this makes the kitchen site specifically a bit of an issue. That is a very tough bomb site now to attack without any operators to deal with the denial that you can bring along with a bandit, Kite, or can you remain free you're looking at. So that's going to make the kitchen much more defender-sided. But then again, Ollie, I think one thing that I've kind of picked up on over the course of this tournament is Bakery always used to be the take you'd go for. I think Bakery is out of favor now. A lot of teams just taking in towards the top floor, in towards the mid floor, utilize the destructibility that you can bring with either a sledge or a buck, and then really targeting that freezer. That is where I say 9 out of 10 teams like to attack, is that freezer. So is the Thatcher and Maverick ban going to come into play? Maybe not.
I mean, Paris is one of the fashion capitals of the world, Demo, and, you know, a Bakery take, it's just so last year, it's so last season. It's all about these newfangled takes. But we're not going to worry about that inside of this round. We're going to be going up to the top floor. G2 have, they've got some interesting operators selected here. We're going to run through them now. We've got the castle that Kanto is bringing. We also have the Goyo on Citizen. Some hefty utility there. That's really sort of, we are committing to holding this zone. As we see with Cafe, kind of famed. I think if anyone, you know, thinks about sort of utility dump and attacker utility sink, you know, name a more iconic duo than Pixel Spot on Cafe. That's really the spot that comes to my mind, at least. And I think a lot of people's mind, Demo, when you think about, you know, clearing out a lot of heavy utility. Now, Wamai isn't available, so that hold has to extend somewhat. You have to play with the castle barricades, and you can bring, obviously, other tools for that sort of endeavor. Aruni, with the laser gates there, going to be employed as well.
Yeah, looking at this setup from G2, a bit surprising. There's two operators that I thought they would have brung because it's kind of like, you know, their go-to, and that would be the Melusi and also the Smoke. We're missing both of them because in favor, they're bringing, like I said, a hefty amount of utility. So the idea that they've went for is keep them out of piano, keep them out of there. We're seeing the castle barricades be set up inside of bathroom as well, which became quite a common position. You put a shield inside of bathroom and a guy can just hold the long angles. Kanto's going to open up with the first pick. And one other thing as well that we've seen, Citizen go below. They're also going to try and hold inside a train because you can have those sight lines. Like we talked about that a lot on Villa. G2 being able to make these vertical holes, and there's one of them right onto the breach, another one on towards the double door. That's going to assist them with their C4s as well. So overall, G2 really playing to kill them all in piano. Don't let them anywhere near the bomb site.
And we can see just the value of this utility dump as well, as we just hear that ADS come back online now. The laser gate has been disabled for the time being, but there's still a castle barricade remains. Penguin's going to be at the top of red stairs, and he seems to be getting pressured from multiple angles now, but is conscious of downstairs. He's really focused toward that wheel room. A frag will come back in response, though, as Uno does fall. Penguin locked off. You can't really choose to aggress onto here. He's going to get a peek onto Virtue, trade shots, both players there with their sidearm secondaries. Euphoria looks to try and join along with Esker. Virtue has been downed and will be taken out there, but Kanto comes in with an all-important refrag yet again. Hits himself, the triple kill. Penguin's down as well at the top of these red stairs. We can see Spirits getting chunks as he's going to be playing on stage. His location known. This is not a great round for Parabellum as they get shut down inside of round number 1.
Strategy working for G2. The idea was keep them at the bomb site. They did just that. So many kills happening towards red stairs. Of course, the poor Ash inside of Piano, and you're not getting away. That the sight line's being established. You're trapped in that box, and yeah, just G2 playing the strategy that was expected of them.
It's very difficult to deal with all of that utility before getting yourself into Piano. That's one of the good things about that hold from G2 is that you've got the laser gates, you've got a lot of open lines of sight, you've got a Go-Yo shield to play with as well. All of that you've got to deal with before getting in, ideally.
It's the way that Virtue played that round. Typically, every single round on this bomb site for attackers plays out the same way. Open up the hatches, open in towards Piano, take control of red, and then move your way through the bomb sites. With the setup that G2 have went, they are not allowing them to have that setup in red stairs, which I think is the key that Virtue is holding. He was able to swing, put pressure on them. As we've seen, no Habana pellets, could not open up the wall. Just constantly putting Parabellum under pressure, and eventually they cracked.
Kanto with a big quad kill as well. It's a massive start from him considering the sort of game that he had over on Villa, where it wasn't bad, but it wasn't stand out by any stretch of the imagination. Kanto, a player that, we think back in the history of Siege, and he's known for fragging out Demo.
He is. Kanto, I think this competition, I wanted to see him play with more fire. I don't think he was aggressive enough. A lot of standing around, holding angles, waiting for people to come to him, which just never came. I think if G2 have the mindset of just go out and go get your kills rather than wait for them to come to you, they will have a much better time.
Well, look at where he got all those kills from. Directly underneath New Hatch.
Yeah.
Well, directly underneath New Hatch. Directly underneath Skylight. Like, those are exposed angles.
You don't challenge, yeah.
Those aren't hotspots. They're not places you really want to be for all too long. And Kanto, because of the early advantages that G2 were able to get and how much focus there was in clearing utility from the side of Parabellum, they were able to play in those more aggressive locations. So has that nade just destroyed the air jab?
Not entirely sure what he went for the nade. What did he try and get rid of? I don't know. I really don't know. But hey, we move. We move. Right, so next bomb site going to be the reading. This is pretty typical. Essentially what teams like to do is set up the exact same way as if you're defending upstairs, and what a C4 from Virtue. Penguin off the board, and that's the hard breach gone as well. That's going to be a bit of an issue for Parabellum, as there is still plenty of reinforced walls that G2 can hide behind.
Parabellum have just got to jump through so many hoops here to gain any significant advantage. We've got Kayak still being allowed to play there inside of the bathroom, but he is instead going to get taken out by Spirits as some coordination starts to trickle in from Parabellum. They managed to remove him there behind that shield, but they've spent quite a lot of their utility to get to that point. Spirit shuts Kanto down with a bit of a turn and burn there inside of shop, and it's going to do something to level things out here.
Spirits in this entry. Looking very scary at the moment. Low HP though, has to be careful. Even just a whiff of a Toxic Babe will be enough to put him down, but Parabellum, they have that man advantage. Sure, they've lost the hard breach, but now they have that overwhelming man presence, and Spirits once again moving his way down, and he gets another kill. Gets traded though, so Uno has not been down, or he's been down, but he hasn't been finished off. Citizens there trying to give the cover, but cannot win the engagement. Parabellum, wow, didn't even really use their utility, just walked down, got the kills, and away they went.
Scrappy stuff there from both sides, really. That entire round coming down to the white corridor. Not the most iconic zone.
5-6 kills there coming from that one area.
Not the most iconic zone here on Cafe, but that was where that round was won and lost. Parabellum didn't really get close to the typical, get into cocktail, open up the floor, playing around pillars, start to pressure down. None of that. It was all fought on that white corridor. Parabellum coming out the better for it inside of that round. Maybe a question of sort of overextending there from G2. I think once you've lost that second man upstairs on the roam, you are left wanting. You are trying to equalize and bring that man count back just so that you can retreat and not be at such a disadvantage. But ultimately, it cost them the round.
That was a reading room defense, and all the kills happened upstairs. I mean, G2 just chasing those kills, which I think I like this G2 playstyle better than the other one that they played throughout the week. That's like the biggest thing, because a lot of those engagements, Ollie, those could have went in favor of G2, and they could be 2 up right now. Whereas if you look at G2 before, in some of their rounds, they never really had a chance. This is giving them that fighting chance.
going to be taking us downstairs to kitchen this time. So we spoke about the sort of bakery take or the freezer hatch take. Despite the Thatcher and the Maverick both being banned, we're not actually going to see any sort of hard denial for the hatch. We are going to see the mute for the walls, but we're not going to see anything really for that kitchen, that freezer hatch drop. That's just going to be surrendered here by G2. Not the end of the world, something that you can look to try and hold for a little bit longer and have the attackers waste a couple of grenades trying to get the way on through. But nades are plenty this side for Parabellum, running both Sledge and Diana. It's going to give them a good opportunity there to root some of those players out and the utility.
So one big thing that we see now a lot, obviously with this freezer hatch meta, and why is there a roaming Maestro? Maybe just, I don't know, drone hunting perhaps, Kayak, trying to pick some of them off. Actually stays as well. Okay, right. We'll come back to him, but one thing about the G2 setup is they're playing very heavily in towards the restaurant VIP side. That is what they want to try and hold. You'll see the deployable shield exactly where Kayak has fallen back to. That is a very important position because not only does that cut off anyone pushing down through the freezer corridor, but it also can kill them as they drop through the hatch. Very, very important to have.
Yeah, typically we see a sort of smoke played in there. We've seen Skies play it quite a lot on smoke and be able to gain some success. Esker gets the chance. How does he miss the headshot there as he's desperately trying to floor bang? Uno, count your lucky stars. You've gotten away with your life there. Esker narrowly going to dodge a C4 as well. So Uno going to think, you know what? I'm not a cat, I don't have 9 lives, so I'm going to take that chance and I'm going to get myself back onto site. Esker now going to be able to use the caver, open up a lot of this floor and set up for a hatch drop. The problem with dropping onto this hatch is, if we look across at what G2 have brought in this round, they have both a Maestro and an Echo. They're going to need to be dealt with before you attempt to plant.
And of course, Kayak have to go back to him in that position, can kill them as they drop through the hatch. They need to try and get in a position where they can aggress on towards the restaurant and the VIP section of the map. But that is a tricky one. I'm sure G2 have plenty of players set up in those positions. Citizen looking over into him. He's actually going to maybe perhaps go for a flank. I'm not sure. Just trying to cover. And Penguin's actually going to try and go for a plant right in a kind of default position towards the sink. This is not what G2 are expecting. And oh my word, Penguin has just pulled off an amazing plant. Nobody from G2 expecting that one. And now it has to be a retake from G2. They have just lost the first blood as well. And another one falls. G2 have been stunned. They were not ready for Parabellum. Penguin making such a big play. Kayak tries best with the LMG, but he eventually gets shut down. Eske as well with another one, and it's all down to Uno. 1 HP in a dream pretty much. Let's see if he can do it. Doesn't look likely. Gonna run away, save a bit of time, talk about what's happening with the team, but in the end, Parabellum gonna take this round convincingly.
A tough round there for G2. Not enough time to get that disable onto the diffuser. Mino knows that, and he's just going to instead sit upstairs and wait out the clock. That is the second time, Demo, that we have seen Parabellum take the initiative on a site that G2 has looked to retake onto or defend with utility. And it's the second time we've seen them actually just sneak on through and get a plant down.
Yeah,
Think back to Villa. Think back to Villa when we saw
they did it on
room
the
and library.
living room, yeah.
We saw that exact same thing there from Parabellum. This Parabellum team are not afraid to just get on in. If they see an opportunity and they think that people are all wrapped up in, you know, whatever it is, holding these common spots, they're just going to go for a slightly off default plant, get it down, and worry about it later.
Parabellum have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing. Same way we talk about Makers. They're here for the ride. That's it. However long their journey is, they don't care. They made it here. G2, on the other hand, expectations of that team, massive. Massive. So, I think Parabellum, they have no weight at all on their shoulders. G2 have all of it.
G2 have just taken a tactical timeout there. Obviously, after the first couple of rounds there, not feeling like things are entirely going their way. Trying to regain some composure. I believe we're going to be coming toward the end of that timeout pretty soon, as it did start just as we started some of the replays. The guys have been talking for a couple of seconds now. Morale doesn't look too low on the team. I think visually they look like they're going to try and bring it together. Kayak, the good old fist bump, just trying to get everyone back on side. But we've seen 3 rounds there from G2. They're going to be the 3 sites that they're going to try and defend. And aside from the top floor, we've not seen them play exceptionally well. And that's kind of unusual because the top floor is a site that there are opportunities for the attackers.
Yeah. Mental game now for G2 is where I turn my eyes to. I worry for them. We look at their first play day back in Group A a long time ago now, it feels. What happened against Team 1? Sit and pray, 6-2 up. G2 coming into this competition looking good. Bang. Team 1 win the game. Sweep them. What happened in our first map today? G2 looking good, sitting pretty. Bang. Parabellum sweep him. Mental is a massive thing. And if that's already chopped for G2, pack your bags home.
Well, this is it. This map could be very deciding here for G2. If they lose here, they're going to be out. You know, this is a lower bracket game, and I don't think we can stress that enough. But G2 lose here, and that will be it. That will be the end of their run inside of the Invitational. They'll be heading on home. So it's a must-win game here for G2. Parabellum, slightly less pressure, but with the way that they're feeling, they don't look to be playing under any significant pressure, Demo, as you say. These guys are just happy to be here and playing Siege. And so far, they're doing a good job of it.
So, G2 heading for the top floor. One change that I'm seeing being made is they have sacrificed the castle barricades in favor of the Echo. Castle was used, I think, to great effect as well, being able to cover off certain angles that actually kept Virtue alive for quite a while also. Parabellum, they've seen that setup. Looks as if they're not going to try and go for the atypical red stairs. They might be on for an east side take, which is extremely difficult to pull off. They have got the first blood. Citizen is gone. And once again, Parabellum have that early lead. Ollie, disadvantages of going for the east side is it is difficult to coordinate. You're going to need a lot of coordination to pull this off. This isn't something you can just pick up on the fly. You need to have prep for this very heavily.
There was sort of remnants of an east side take when we saw them attack onto Reading Room. You know, we saw a lot of the pressure coming in from White Corridor. That's a key zone when you're looking to try and take toward this east side. Kanto's got himself down there with a nade as they continue to rain on in. Spirit, in fact, no, sorry, Spirit's underneath there with the breaching rounds. And Nade will, though, finish Kanto off. Spirits gets down by Virtue as Virtue tries to regain some advantage here. A C4 in hand, going to get tossed on up. Unlikely to do damage, but no, does do half health onto Euphoria. Control quickly being lost, though, by G2, and they need to try and find another pick here, because the pressure and the angles that are coming in from Parabellum is significant. With Virtue playing below without the C4, it kind of renders him a little bit useless here. Sure, he's got the shotgun and the SMG, but that's not the best kit, really, to be challenging onto those vertical angles.
Oh, Penguin going to go for the drop through the skylight and trying to maneuver, but Kayak is sat right beside him. No idea, and that might be a game changer of a kill for G2. Kayak, another one perhaps? No! Sonor is there, finds the kill, and now it's going to be advantage back into Parabellum's court. Uno creeping up, has a lot of long angles to play with. Some yellow pings also to try and assist him. Virtue still below, trying to hold on to the vertical game. Diffuser gets picked up. Uno, oh no, misses the shot now. Diffuser being planted, the rotation in towards the skylight has also come in. Virtue's right below, but no, cannot stop the diffuser. One drops right beside him. Virtue will land that kill, but there's a 2 versus 2. One man on skylight, one man in the bomb site also. Virtue below. Uno now creeps in towards the bar. Euphoria, all the pressure on you. He has to try and hold that diffuser for all he's worth. Uno, what a swing, and Esk is gone now at 2 versus 1. This is a very difficult position. Euphoria, this is not the best plant that you'd like to be in. It's going to actually drop down the red hatch. Uno's going to start to the defuse, and now Virtue has to give the cover. Euphoria moving left and right, and Uno will get that diffuser done. G2, wow, somehow pull off a magical round.
Virtue there with the shoulder cover, that cannot be underestimated there. That down was crucial. I know that the time was coming because the defuse time was nearly said and done, but one-shot headshot. It's all it takes. A lucky spray through that cabinet, and that could have been another round going toward Parabellum. As it stands, G2 were able to step up. Virtue with the vertical play. We questioned it a little bit at the time, and the plant did go down, Demo, but I think on the whole, he probably played that as well as he could under the circumstances.
At that stage, people are probably thinking, oh, diffuser being planted underneath the skylight. One guy in skylight, game's wrapped. It's not the best position. You cannot get a clear angle onto that diffuse, and that's where we've seen him be forced to drop down the red hatch. Yeah, just very, very difficult. In hindsight, could Parabellum plant it elsewhere? Perhaps. Probably, but
it's something we've praised them for previously when they have been able to get those plants down.
They've had great plants, and
they've had really good plant spots. You know, I think back to Villa, there was a couple. There was one on living room and library that was a pretty off default, pretty, you know, just out there and unable for G2 to really do anything about. And then I think back to that all important round, the 0.7 almost clutch from Virtue again. We actually got confirmation on that for anyone that watched Villa when it got really close and Virtue hit the 3 kills and then nearly had enough time for the disable. It was 0.7 seconds was all that stood between him and that clutch. That was a fantastic plan spot from Parabellum. So a little bit uncharacteristic in terms of this series from them, but still early days. G2 have leveled it up, but honestly, Demo, it's felt like a bit of a war for G2 to bring this back to 2-all.
Again, I said it about Parabellum, some of their rounds. They haven't made it easy for them. They have not made it easy.
Ooh.
Citizen.
Citizen's angry.
Spawn Peak. Angry Citizen is the Citizen you don't want to play. I'll put your mind back to what he did against Cyclops. Man was hungry.
We're going to get a replay of this, actually.
Ooh, look at that. That's fancy. Production, by the way. Great stuff. Look at that.
Things you love to see from Citizen there. It's everyone's died to that at some point or another. That garage door is a nightmare here on Cafe.
It's so common, it becomes uncommon.
It does, and, you know, Parabellum just lacks a little bit there in the preparation for that and not keeping an eye on it, but going to lose the Iana, a chunk of information and the drones. Let's see if that slows them down any. It's going to be an opening pick for the first time in a while here for G2. Last time when we saw this site, all the action happened on the top floor.
But the difference is that I think G2 in a much better state. Minimal control in towards the kind of bathroom, which was the area that was pressured last time. They've now kind of sanctioned off some of the walls. They haven't got it open as they did beforehand, so it doesn't give Parabellum as many opportunities. Kai's going to go for the swing, and a great one at that. Euphoria takes a bullet to the head, and he is donezo. Kayak still swinging away, trying his best, but is not ready as Spirit swings in. But Citizen, great cover, has the refrag. Penguin onto Kanto. A 3 versus 2 in G2. They'll take what they have, and they will leave.
Rightly so as well. Parabellum still have a lot of tools to pull this round off. You think towards Sledge and the ability to open up that floor. Penguin as well, going to be able to keep an eye on things on the drone, and there are still plenty of drones available for these guys. Sorry, one drone available for these guys. A lot of time to work with here as well. A minute to start opening up this floor, find the vertical angles. We can have the floor open by Esker and then peeked onto by Penguin. Really keep G2 guessing here. As such, we're seeing players actually have to play offside. Esker going to be able to pick off Virtue there. You only think that there was some information onto that. That isn't a kill that you can really afford to lose at this point.
Well, I don't think they know that Uno is going to be sitting inside of Train, and if they want to try and go for this drop, it will be a shotgun, but Uno peeks. No! No, the time you don't need to play aggressive. It will get punished. Now Citizen inside of the 1 versus 2. If anyone from G2 can pull it off, it will be Citizen. Penguin now rotating in towards pillars. Citizen by himself inside of Reading, holding on to the fireplace. But Parabellum now turning their attention. Citizen should hear that now. Both of them are going to have to double up. The Banshee's going off, but Citizen, he thinks there might be another one pushing from behind. Now he hears both of them. Diffuser's going to be planted. Still has a C4 as well. He has to make this land. Citizen with a swing. He finds one. Has to get the Diffuse character, and he gets it. Yes, Citizen. There he is. Finds it. G2 still alive.
Citizen likes to keep it exciting, doesn't he? He had the C4 there. I was thinking, yep, nice little C4 toss out. You're going to be able to pick up at least one of those. But no, just slowly but surely creeps his way around the corner. Pre-firing as he goes. That is enough for G2 to secure another round here. It should not have come down to a 2 versus 1. That is the ultimate takeaway from that round. What did he start off at? A 4 versus 3?
5 versus 3.
5 versus 3, and that comes down to a 1 versus 2 against them.
Uno, in that position, was in a prime spot as well. Like, that's a tricky position to kind of root somebody out of, especially whenever they don't have the utility. That's a shotgun you're going to have to drop into. But still, Citizen is the man that we always look to for G2. Ever since he joined this line, I mean, ever since he got into Tier 1 Siege, he's been phenomenal. Look back to his Pro League finals in Japan. The guy broke a kill record. Like, come on. He's good.
Currently sitting at 6 and 3, double positive so far, 1 kill per round. Kanto, for all that he started off strong with that quad, he's not really been there in terms of kills really for G2 in the last couple of rounds. Now things have shifted. We've seen G2 be successful in the last couple of rounds. They've managed to pick up there in Reading Room. Bar and Cocktail was a close affair as well. So going to be going back downstairs into the kitchen bakery. This was where we saw the sneaky plant. This is where Penguin, as we know him to be able to do now, worms his way on into the site, manages to get it down, and then it just throws a big cat among the pigeons of G2, and they just get left wanting a little bit. They bring all of this denial, and it isn't something that they're able to actually make use of. In this round, we're seeing a shift demo. G2 are reading into that, and they're going, you know what? We're not going to play the Maestro, we're not going to play the Echo. Instead, we're just going to try and play denial. But the one piece of denial they have just lost is going to be Kanto on that smoke.
God, them cats and them pigeons at it again, Ollie.
It's, if you've ever seen it, it's quite a sight.
Don't know if I want to see a cat amongst the pigeons, to be honest. That may be a little bit...
The pigeons just fly off, but it's chaotic.
Oh, flies. Okay, good. I'm glad the pigeons are safe. Right, okay, Parabellum have that kill, like you said, onto the smoke as well. Denial gone, and another one. G2 losing players by the second. Spirits has been down, but in a safe position to get picked up. Euphoria, of course, has to be careful. There's plenty of openings, and he could get swung from. Euphoria will secure that revive now. Kayak, is he thinking of going a little bit aggressive? Citizen also on the white stairs. The G2 players not in sight. They are spread out heavily, and Citizen, goes to the swing, misses them as they run into the bomb site. And once again, Parabellum in a great position to stick this defuse. Here comes the swing from Kayak, the C4 as well. Oh, but no, gets shot midair. Not ready for Eska. A phenomenal play, phenomenal cover. That's a hype man everyone wants to have in your corner. Citizen finds Sonar and still fighting through this freezer. But is it going to be enough? Still 4 bodies alive and so many different angles. He has to worry about Virtue as well, trying to come in, but that crossfire, Eska again. What a round from him, and Virtue trying his best. Hey, hold on a minute, Ollie, we've been here before. Can he make this one a success? He finds one. Flashbang's getting tossed free. Here goes the C4 of his own. Will it connect? No, it does not. Virtue not ready. So many angles still for Parabellum in play. Wow, Parabellum. Adapt, adapt, adapt. Into the bomb site they go. Diffuser, the cover, everything a picturesque round for them.
It's Siege at its simplest demo. You know, win a round as an attacker, get the diffuser down. That is what you've got to do. You've got to be able to get the diffuser down. It's one of the easiest ways to come away with the round, save just getting 5 headshots. You know, that isn't something that you can count on every time. What you can count on is teams seeing an opportunity, picking their moment to strike. And this isn't something that Parabellum are trying to do all the time with all 10 players left alive. They'd got the 2 opening picks there. They'd taken down Kanto. Kanto in that position was trying to deny the plant. He was there as the anchor on site, looking, saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to use the smoke canisters. We're either going to deny them pushing on in, or we're going to try and deny them when they try and get the plant down. Neither of those things are a factor if Kanto gets taken out first. Then we lose Uno. All of a sudden, there's such a man deficit, and G2 still haven't moved back on into the site. G2 are still trying to hold from these outside positions, and because there's only 3 of them, they can't hold every angle. Parabellum get themselves in, the defenders become the attackers, and Parabellum make it look easy. 3-3 now here on Cafe. As the rounds that have gone in Parabellum's favour, particularly downstairs, have been pretty convincing. You can see there on the screen the 2 plants that Parabellum they've achieved 3 plants, but the 2 plants that they've achieved and then 1 have both come from downstairs in that kitchen.
So G2 on the attack haven't won an attack today, losing all of their attacking rounds on Villa, but they got off to a great start. Kanto, was that just from spawn? I think it might have been. Eska, I don't know if he was trying to spawn peek, but Kanto will find the kill. I think he was going for a spawn peek as Kanto's taken just a little bit of damage. Parabellum, extremely risky, and more a 2-tap. It might have been a 1-tap, but still two bullets.
Impressive stuff there from Kanto. One of the dangers, really, of Cafe, isn't it, is getting into the building safely. You know, we talk about these top-down clears where attackers want to get in onto the roof and open the hatches. That isn't always something you can do for free. You're going to get hassled. You're going to get shot at on your approach to the building. Kanto certainly not sleeping on that one. It's going to be his first kill since round number 1. He's starting off his attack a little bit stronger than he finished his defense, at least. Yeah,
Kanto having that big round on the castle, but since then, just kind of withered away on the sidelines for G2. Let's see if he can continue a good run of form on this Buck on the attack. And oh, Citizen, great pick as well. Penguin aggressed on the Kayak. And that is the Habana. I mean, that is definitely worth the trade. No hard breach now for G2, and that's going to make things very, very difficult for them indeed.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and press this man advantage now by securing trades. That's something that we've not seen be all too strong here from G2 in their attacks over on Villa. So it's a difference that they need to try and make here on Cafe. You can see just Virtue going to be calling out on his scanner. Any pieces of utility. Uno may be looking to make use of that information. Worried about the runouts. Because, I mean, despite the man disadvantage that Parabellum are currently in, the runout is still possible. You know, you can grab yourself a nice little kill and just give yourself that advantage back. Euphoria are going to be on these white stairs. There's going to be a player directly on the other side of that of that barricade. As Uno's going to try and gather some intel here on the drone. Quickly gets shut on down. I'm surprised Euphoria can't hear him there, you know.
I'm loving this rotate, though, from G2, realizing that they don't have the hard breach. Their initial push will not work, and now they've resorted to an east side take. I mean, if you're down in numbers, pushing in through white along with the window pressure you can apply is a good idea, definitely for G2 in this scenario. But Ollie, they need to make the kills happen.
Oh no, Virtue didn't have the intel there. He's going to get taken down. The kill comes out as a trade, though. That's the advantage of getting the opening pick right there. Very quickly, we find ourselves in a 3 versus 1. Sonar, he has a C4 to play with, and with the push coming in from only one direction currently from G2, there's a chance he's going to be able to make something happen here. Tosses out the C4, will find one onto Uno, but immediately gets taken down by Citizen. That is a different G2 right there on the attack.
Yeah, G2, quick, snappy, being able to adapt in any environment they're put into. So yeah, great stuff. Mirror windows without the Habana, you're going to be running into a brick wall. It's not going to work. G2, 100% making the correct decision, doubling up in towards the white stairs, getting that trade. They have that man advantage, which I think getting that one single trade, it went into a 3v3 at a stage, but it was a sacrifice to give them white stairs control. And as soon as G2 had that white stairs control, everything was open to them. All lanes open.
It's a flashy kill there from Citizen. He's just wiggle peeking out there on the rappel. Euphoria tried his best in that situation. I'm surprised he turned around, you know.
I don't know if anyone picked that up. Virtue traded himself to get the Banshee. Like, that's dying for your cause. All he had to do was get that Banshee. He knew he was going to die, but then it enabled the swing. It enabled the flood to open. Just little things like that really separates G2.
We move now into round number 8. Parabellum, they're going to mix things up. Oh no, they're not going to mix things up, sorry. They're going to continue with this top floor defense. I imagine this time that Esker's probably not going to go for the same spawn peak. I think that's something that could have been a bit of a difference maker there. A C4 that got lost early on into the round
just
as
Esker
well.
As well, just having him, who has had a great series so far for Parabellum. So somebody you want to try and keep on your side at all times. 10-4 right now instead of Cafe. But Parabellum, again, going for the mirror placements. That one's a tricky one. In towards the bathroom, looks right across the open bomb site. A little bit difficult to deal with, but there is nades on the side of G2.
See a couple of ADSs inside of that bathroom as well, so any pressure that does come in from white is going to need to be quite carefully measured there. Big question about Kayak inside of this round. If he's able to stay alive on the Hibana and actually use his utility to open up the wall. I know that we saw the pellets on the wall last time, but they weren't actually able to be detonated. I think that the mute of Penguin just slowing him down somewhat. See the pressure coming in now into this piano area as Kanto's got himself out on the rappel. Uno pressuring into the bathroom as well, but a C4 in the hands of Parabellum. Going to swing and miss as Uno predicts it beautifully.
Uno, lucky enough to get away with that one. And Kayak, again, has to be careful. Cannot afford to die on that sole hard breach from G2. Next Kairos' go off. What has that opened up in towards the bathroom? So that mirror window that we kind of discussed, it is now neutralized. It's not going to be able to be played by Parabellum. So that's good clear from G2. So they have their foothold. They can now start their take in towards red. They've cleared anything that they could worry about in piano. And then they'll just carry out their take. So for the most part, Ollie, run-of-the-mill stuff from G2. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, they've been able to get themselves into shop there as well, as Kayak has done his job in Piano. Can now look to try and open up over onto Cocktail. Bit of a quicker peek there this time. I think he's maybe going to lose his pellets for it, but he's got plenty left in the launcher. It's much slower here from G2. I feel like they're taking the time with this execute, and I don't think it's due to being timid. I think they're just being very thorough in what they are trying to achieve. We've even got Uno over on New Balcony Repel as well. Citizen finds an opener.
Massive kill.
He's going to be clearing out downstairs. He's going to take down Esker. Kayak was going for a plant there before being taken down by Sona. Not sufficient cover here from the side of G2. It's going to have left the diffuser in a bit of a no man's land. Virtue is just trying to find the angle through over onto Bathroom. The diffuser now needing to be recovered. Euphoria does take down Uno. Virtue's got himself all the way into Freezer, but there's so much intel on him. A 4 versus 1 as Citizen is left as the last alive. He's going to get himself into an engagement here on the white stairs. Find himself one, but Sona comes flying over the top rail, finishing off Citizen. And Parabellum say, no thank you, not twice in a row.
From the top rope, people's elbow, right into the heart of G2. Mirror window inside of Freezer. 1 Parabellum that round. Information galore for them. G2 can't really challenge that. I do wonder why G2 don't try and target that last mirror window. Use the Habana pellets that you have. Use the nades.
I believe that Kayak did. I just don't think that they were able to get it off.
Mute jammer, I'm guessing.
I guess mute jammer.
I mean, you can take that out from the window, though.
Uno's on the repel.
On the window, like, but not the far one, but like the closer one. I mean, toss some nades in as well. There's plenty of ways to get rid of that, but maybe with the fear of jump outs that I think are very heavily involved with that side of the map, and with G2 having no intention of bringing a Nomad, it is a risky thing to go for.
Penguin. A little bit of Capcan maybe. I love a little bit of Capcan.
Capcant.
There's no greater sound than multiple Capcans going off in a row.
Yeah, just a blitz running through them all.
There's going to be no blitz on the side of G2, but some of those are going to get spotted out there by the drone before it gets taken on out. It just gives G2 something else to worry about. And I think I commented on it in the previous round. G2 really spent a great deal of time in that last round. A Capcan, it's just another tool to add another 20 seconds onto a clear. And with a game of such fine margins, 20 seconds, a massive amount of time.
It is. I think this game so far, Ollie, has been way too close to call. Very back and forth. I personally don't really know who's going to take this next round. I usually have like a good sense, but this map is just out the window. Cafe especially. Trying to predict Cafe, it is just crazy, and talking about crazy things, here comes a rush from G2! Out of nowhere, they have stormed in towards the kitchen and they're taking everything that they can have. G2 have just hit Parabellum with the 1-2 good night. Penguin on your beloved Capcan, Ollie, what can he do? He finds 1 kill to pad the stats. But now Parabellum are in the position that G2 probably filled in for a lot of their defensive rounds. Penguin trying his best, gets another kill, sure, but with 30 seconds to go, 3 men still alive for G2, fires a C4 out, but nothing comes off it. Wow. G2 giving Parabellum a taste of their own medicine.
Absolutely, you can see a wry smile on Shas's face there as well. Obviously pleased with how that one has pulled off. Sometimes, if you take a little bit of time inside of a round and you look like you're moving a little bit slowly, the last thing in the world that anybody is going to expect is a rush. Not repeatable, but certainly something you can get away with once.
Get you around.
Wins you around, puts you ahead here. That's the most important thing. That was a massive round.
It was.
5-4 is a big scoreline. It's 1 away from match point. Now G2 can look to focus, really knuckle down here and try and pick up this next site. It's going to be kitchen and service again. I doubt that they're going to go for a rush this time, but it is always going to now be in the back of Parabellum's mind, like, you know what, we need to respect this because that was pretty scary.
And again, maybe that's just down to the ideology of nobody attacks Bakery. Nobody goes there. Parabellum, barricading off the prep. No, you know, nobody would ever barricade that off back in the day, but because nobody ever attacks it, and G2 are usually going for the freezer side, yeah, they're not ready for that execute, and it worked extremely well for G2. Again, Ollie, like I said, a game, you cannot predict where it's going to go. Hey, I'm on the roller coaster of my ticket, and I'm just enjoying it. I am.
Here for the ride, Demo. G2 now going to be 5-4 here. Going to look to make it 6 and take us all the way to Clubhouse, which will be our decider if we need it. Parabellum, don't forget, they won Villa. So if Parabellum are able to claw it back here, pick up 3 rounds, then that'll be the series done 2-0. But G2 have got something to say about that, I believe. And with the way that we've seen them amp it up over the course of these last couple of rounds, I imagine that we're going to be going all the way here. Kanto just taking his time. He's waiting for some information to come out on the drone. He's got the skeleton key and is going to be able to quickly switch there, deal some significant damage onto Penguin. Sonar has also been chunked down quite a bit as he's going to retreat.
He's not sticking around, Ollie. Takes a bit of damage and out of there, and Sonar. Timing. Siege timing in a nutshell, Ollie.
Good rotation kill there from Virtue as we can see just how well G2 are coordinating here. You could see Kanto was looking over at the other monitor to make sure that he got the timing right on opening up that barricade. Penguin going to finally be taken down there by Kayak as these defenders are making the rotations back to the site. Lines of sight are being held, and G2 are able to pick them off as they go.
Minute 45, and Spirits is still on the hunt, on the roam, and he has to make a big impact. This could be a make or break. If he finds 1 kill, a fighting chance for Parabellum. It will be a 4 versus 3, but if he doesn't, then a 2 versus 5, which doesn't even matter. That's what's going to happen. Spirits finds 1, and is nobody aware that where they've been killed from? It looks as if they're not worried about Spirits, and they're going to try and flood the site and eliminate Euphoria. There has been a late rotate, I believe, in towards Bakery as well, and Euphoria, is he ready for that? Is he expecting someone else to come in? And Virtue, no, gets blocked off by that oven, and now Euphoria has to dance around these vertical angles being held, but look at the diffuser placement, Ollie. Spirits has it in his possession.
I think the diffuser is actually going to be upstairs, just inside of... Oh, sorry, it's on the white stairs there, as Spirits is directly challenging onto it.
Oh, my word.
We're seeing the Capcan trap detonate. That's going to net Penguin a kill. Spirits, he manages to take down Citizen. It's all down to Uno. This was a round that looked as though it was locked in for G2, and Uno has been pressured from every which way. He's got plenty of time. He's got 40 seconds, but look at his health. He's having to check every single doorway now as well. That's going to slow him down a little bit further. And of course, he's in the 1 versus 2. He's not got anything left inside of the lifeline. Looks as though he may have a little bit of information, but not too much to be going off. He's only really got an inkling as to the room that the player's in, not exact locations. Maybe going to try and stick the plant here, but it is risky stuff indeed. Euphoria could look to try and move on this, and will. Takes down Uno, levels things up 5-5 here on Cafe.
I don't believe it. I do not believe it. 2v5. And Parabellum win that round. Spirits. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I don't know. G2, extremely well, getting those picks. We've seen Spirits on the roam, right? Sure, gets 1 kill. But G2, did they know he was there? I mean, he just killed the guy who was upstairs with you, and they just let him be. They ran away from him. And it has costed them massively.
A really tough round there for G2 to swallow as they had such an upper hand inside of it.
Oh my word.
Spirits being out there on the roam, just that unaccounted for entity, able to pick up some really impactful kills, join Euphoria. Euphoria played a blinder from inside of the site, using those reverse vertical angles. He managed to get it down and then toss the C4 on through. That's a huge bit of site play there coming out from Euphoria. Capcan traps win rounds. Called it. Love him.
Never thought I'd see that be a correct statement, but in that scenario, 100%.
Time's running short, everyone's chipped. That's going to be a difference maker. You can see how it was slowing Uno down in the final few seconds. He had, what, 5 health, if that? And he's having to look left and right on every single door frame. You can't always afford to do that, especially if you're challenging onto a gunfight or you're looking to aggressively push on through somewhere. You haven't got the time to be checking every single door frame. The Capcan coming in huge there. Penguins are going to be well happy with that one.
So 5-5, again, scrappy as it comes. And this is a big round, Ollie. This decides who gets the match point, who will be up against it, and who gets a bit of a safety net if needed. Will it be G2 or will it be Parabellum? Both teams have looked good in areas and both teams have looked weak in areas, Ollie. It is a game where you just cannot call how it's going to end up. Clutches galore, chokes galore, everything you could want from a Siege match. This is it.
Bomb has been located.
Big round here for G2. They don't want to be going up against this match point here. Spirit's going to be holding Pixel. He can see the rappel line of the player there, and he's going to take his chance at a little bit of pot shots. He does actually manage to connect there onto Kanto somewhat, but it's going to be a C4 that does the damage in the opening part of this round. Uno gets himself taken on out. Again, an advantage early for Parabellum.
Uno having a rough series so far, has not been performing when needed for G2, and G2 again on the back foot. How will they adapt to this one? Good thing is Kak still alive, that hard breacher that is a necessity for them, and Kak just very easily sweeps in, tries to pick off some utility around the site, some information as well, and just keeps on moving. I mean, Kak, a lot of confidence in how he's playing this right now, but he has to be careful. He is the Habana. We see a change, Ollie. We see a Kide be brought for Parabellum, which is going to lock out a lot of those reinforced walls, and that's going to be difficult for G2 to try and get over.
It's just something else to slow them down here. These attacking pushes have been quite slow so far from G2. That extra little bit of utility, something else to try and deal with, something to commit a grenade to, especially when you've only got two, is really going to add into how much time it takes to clear on out this top floor. Sonar going to get himself taken on out there by Citizen. Euphora trades back over onto Kanto. Still an advantage here for Parabellum. Citizen just going to commit back up to the roof. Virtue's able to gather a ton of information here, but there's nothing really that G2 can do about it. They've only got one nade left. Losing Zafir early has cost them in terms of the lifeline. Citizen now going to get himself onto that east rappel and try to put a little bit of pressure in from that balcony. Okay, just helping him out a little bit there, as I think there's probably some utility, maybe even a yokai drone that's going to be up in one of those corners. Penguin's got a horrible bullet hole to play with here, but Spirits comes in with a frag over onto Kag. Citizen, he has to commit here. He hops himself on through. We'll find one before getting taken out as well. Spirits, he's going huge from inside of the freezer. He finds his third onto Virtue. It's going to be a match and series point here for Parabellum.
This little team from Canada giving it everything they can against G2. Parabellum, series point. A chance to progress into the next round, to knock out G2. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Do or die time here for G2. This is a lower bracket game. This is not a game that you can afford to lose. If you lose this here, you will go home. G2, they've looked slow on attack demo. I really worry for them here and now. They have to show us something. They've managed to pick up a couple of rounds. I think back to the first round, it was a great start there from Kanto. They were able to get an opening kill and an early advantage. The opening kill hasn't dictated who has won the rounds throughout this game. Citizen has been really hot on getting that opening engagement, but it hasn't been doing anything in terms of round wins. They can get the opening kill, but they can then still come to lose the round. The only other round that we've seen them win on the attack, the rush downstairs into kitchen. They need a little bit more here. They need to find some depth. They're going to be attacking onto reading room. Massive round here coming up for G2.
You have to feel for Citizen. 16 kills, and they're losing.
5 seconds left.
Like, what more can this man put into this game? What more can we ask of him? We're not asking anything from Citizen. We're asking for everyone else on G2. How can you allow one man to solo carry you nearly every single game this invitational? They need this round. They need to stay in it. G2 need to wake up quick and win this round if they want to stay in. This is it, Ollie. Potential final round for G2 at SI 2021.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Last time we saw them, in fact, sorry, we've not seen them attack onto this reading yet. So it's going to be uncharted territory here for G2. Order of the day typically is to get that top floor control, move on through, open up your vertical angles, get a couple of kills and clear out the roamers, and then execute over onto site. Regularly a site that we can see a plank coming down onto. Citizen going to be the man that's playing outside on this east side. You're going to be concerning yourself with a couple of things. You've got the runouts to contend with, you've got the windows to worry about, and of course you have the door into the bottom of reading. It's going to be your main point of ingress. C4 there, just going to miss on out. So Uno does safely get himself into shop. He's now able to start opening up some of these angles upstairs.
So Virtue getting some information, I think perhaps on an echo drone maybe? I assume so, that would be what he is pinging out, and don't know, it looks like it maybe. I think it's right there. It's difficult to get an angle on it, but I assume that Virtue with that scanner is correct. And something we see G2 do quite a lot is bring that IQ, send them above, and ping out all of this utility. You can gain everything from the rooftop, and yeah, it's a great position for G2 to be in. Having that information is very valuable. And oh no, are G2 thinking perhaps of another quick rush into a bomb site? I mean, Uno is primed in a good position. He can cut off a lot of these angles, a lot of these crossfires as well. G2 have very little map control right now, Ollie, and I wonder if they're going to try and make it happen. How is that barricade not open?
The barricade has stayed intact, and I guess more importantly, the Banshee that is going to be behind it. G2 are into the final minute now. They're going to have to come up with something. We've not really seen them commit to that top floor and open up any of those vertical angles. So far, we're seeing quite a flat push come through as we see Kayak making his way down 90. He's going to have a couple of angles to contend with there if he continues to push on through. Going to try and open up the wall, but he's going to get stopped in his tracks. There's going to be a jammer on that wall. It's going to slow the roll down. Uno now looking to push in through Fireplace, but again, that is an angle that is being watched by these white stairs. Penguin, he's felt no pressure from that top floor, but he has felt a bit of pressure there from Kanto, but he manages to find 2 important kills there as Esker picks up 2 massive frags on the white stairs. Euphoria takes down Citizen. It's a 4 versus 2 now for G2. Spirits takes down Uno. Kayak, the last man standing, he's going to be able to find 1, but it's likely going to be impactless. Look at how much time is remaining. He's got multiple kills to find and only 3 seconds to do it in. Spirits gets that final kill. Parabellum, they advance through this lower bracket.
Parabellum have toppled G2. This team from Canada